on the free app Live 365. Search for One Radio and tune in. It's just good music.
All right, on a humid Tuesday evening, it is your primetime player D Major along with Cheryl Meadow. Welcome to the One Radio, and we do have special guests in the house tonight. So, gentlemen, if you can, please introduce yourself to San Antonio.
Hey, I've been in San Antonio. I'm Branzil. I'm 17.
I'm 17.
A rapper. I'm an artist. I'm a actor. I'm 17.
You got your SAG card? An actor would know, sir.
San Antonio 210, it's Lil Young, Swishahouse, man, we out here. DJ Big Red, what's going down, big homie? What's going down? It's good to be home. You know, I've been in Colorado for the last week. I had 2 concerts out there, and then I filmed a video out there. So, you know, it's good to be just back home in Texas, man. That's what I was explaining to Lisa when I got here. You know, I'm not tripping on the heat. You know, I know it's a little different weather than, you know, Colorado is. Right. Shout out to Colorado and Denver, all my homies out there. But it's good to be home. Big Red, I know you got something to say on GBL.
I ain't got too much to say. DJ Big Red, Hustler's Choice, Swishahouse legend in the building, Lil Young, you know what I'm saying? Just San Antonio, the home of the champions. We here.
That's right.
Going down.
Yes, sir. So Young, being the first Latino artist for Swishahouse, how does that feel? Seriously though, how does that feel to be, you know, making history?
Man, I know I get asked that question a lot, and you know the best way for me to answer, you know, real quick and sum it all up is, you know, I love what I do, you know, so it's like being put in that position, you know, with the Swishahouse and, you know, with their whole history and their whole, you know, just machine, you know, just getting put in that machine and getting able to run through those outlets, you know, it was a blessing, and it's a great feeling, a great honor, you know, and I definitely have a lot more work to do and a lot more accomplishments ahead of me.
So what made you get into the game to begin with? What made you start, you know, thinking that, you know, okay, hip hop is my route to success?
Well, you know, growing up, I'm 25, so you know. Right. Growing up in that late 90s era, you know, just watching MTV and just watching what was going on, and I really didn't see too many like Hispanic artists, you know, at the time, except for like Big Pun. You know, you got to shout out to Big Pun, right. Kid Frost. You know, that there is a lot, you know, but they just weren't out there like that. So I'm young, watching it, and it was just you know, it motivated me. At the time, I was already, you know, putting words together and kind of rhyming and stuff like that. I never knew what it meant at the time, but it meant something to me, and I loved doing it, and I just kind of stuck with it through. You know, I've been writing poetry and spoken word and just rhyming since I was like in 5th grade, you know, and started working on it, developing it like at 3rd grade. So, you know, and my mom, she was a big part of that. My mom, she said when she was young, she used to do a lot of writing and poetry and stuff like that. So she said that's how it went in my blood and passed down to me. So, you know, it's been a long ride, you know. So this youngster sitting next to me, 17 years old, you know, it's beautiful sitting next to the next thing, you know, that's going to come out in the game and the youth, because it's all about the youth. You know, I'm 25 years old, and everywhere I travel, you know, I see these youngsters, and they get younger and younger and younger. Everywhere I go, they want to be a rapper, or they want to be a musician. It's beautiful, but at the same time, you know, we got to make sure that, you know, your education is there, your grades are there, your respect is there. You know, right. Just being a great person, being a good person, a humble person is there before you take that next step to being an artist and think that this is where it's at, because it's a lot that comes with it, you know. Yeah, and it can twist you and turn you and flip you upside down, and you'll be gone the next day. So that's right.
You gotta man up for it.
Definitely.
It ain't no game for real.
Definitely.
So the whole connection, you know, how did you get discovered by Swishahouse? You know, what led up to the actual signing? What sparked that? The label. What made them spark that interest into you?
Well, half of that is sitting in the room with me right now. DJ Big Red, the OG of Swishahouse, you know, that's why I had to bring them through, you know. And the other half was just my hard work, my work ethic, you know, grinding in the streets. I was already on the road, and I was putting songs, you know, in the streets. I released the album when I was 16 years old, which I had a song called Candy Drop. They were playing on 104.9, which was like
I know back in the day, yeah.
The Latin hip hop station, you know, on Houston, which had the Chopaholics, and shout out to DJ Kool-Aid, Overdose. They were the first, DJs to break my records on the air. So at that time, that was the Latin station, so 104.9, which they competed with 97.9,
Right.
which, not saying anything about 97.9, but they just run off a different format than
Right.
104.9 did. So, my record as being a Latin artist matched the 104.9 format. But at the time, they did the Screw Mix show. So 104.9, the Chopaholics had theirs. Swishahouse, Michael Watts had theirs. I was working with Big Red. Big Red, it was crazy how it came about because I was at a show when Swishahouse was at a show. They were promoting Archie Lee and Kuda Bang's album that was coming out, Hood Theory.
Right.
I happened to jump in the camera, start talking some fly stuff, talking some fly stuff. It happened to end up on their DVD, on their album. I didn't know anything about it. 6 months down the line, I'm at the club. It's Michael Watts, Big Red. They're doing like a big Swishahouse thing downtown Houston. Me and my big brother, shout out to my big brother. He invested in my first album, which we were pushing at the time. We went out there to push the album. This guy, he came up to me. I didn't know who he was. He just walked up to me. "What's up, Lil Young? Good to see you, man." He's patting me on my back. I turned around. He got a big Swishahouse piece around his neck. I'm just like, "What's up, man? I ain't seen you in a long time, man. You want something to drink? What's going on?" At the time, I just turned 18 years old. I was fresh out of high school. I was DJing at a strip club. So, I was like, "You want something to drink?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, here, give us 20, man. You gonna have to buy it. Just buy me a water, cause I can't drink. I'm underage." But so, we got to talking, and then I found out that I was on, that project. So after that, the big homie, he just kind of took me under his wing and started taking me on the road everywhere, introducing me to people, putting me on the mixtapes, and like I said, the other radio station was playing my record, so he took the record, passed it to Watts. Watts thought the record was hot. It was already getting played on this station. Well, if it's getting played on this station, I gotta play it on this one now. So it started getting in rotation. It was even getting played, we were doing like 12 o'clock traffic. I remember when I used to come off of school, it was coming on like at 3:30 and stuff like that. So the record was doing pretty good, and a lot of that was to Big Red, bringing me there and just kind of pushing me and kind of molding me into the artist that I am now.
Nice. Funny how life works out, man.
Yeah, it is, man. It is, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into one of your tracks. This is Still in Love featuring Badmouth and D Silas. How did that come about?
Oh man, that's when I was in LA. Shout out to my OG Kid Frost. Kid Frost moved me out to California when I first got with Swishahouse, and we were out there doing the album. And I met up with my homie Badmouth. He's a dope artist out there in California, plus producer. And this was a record that he did, but it really just didn't do too well for him. So when I was out there in the studio, he said, "You know what, Young, I want to give you this record, and I want to let you put your touch to it, take it back to Texas, and see what can happen with it." And it ended up doing real good for me. So this is Still in Love. All the ladies in San Antonio, this goes out to you, baby.
All right. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right at you here on The One Radio. It's just good music. Keep it locked.
You might